Hello friends, let us now learn some important points about the rheumatic heart disease. So let us now learn some important points about rheumatic heart disease. Just a minute, I'll write it again. So rheumatic heart disease occurs mainly due to an organism which is Streptococcus beta hemolytic streptococci. So it mainly occurs due to, if you see the organism, it occurs due to beta hemolytic streptococci. This beta hemolytic streptococci is actually, it occurs due to group A beta hemolytic streptococci. Okay, this rheumatic heart disease is seen in children between 5 to 15 years of age. Here this will, first there will be sore throat, and patients with this beta hemolytic streptococci, first it causes sore throat, and in those patients about 3% of these patients will develop rheumatic heart disease. So what is the pathogenesis of this rheumatic heart disease? Pathogenesis here is mainly, it occurs due to molecular mimicry. So that means, what is this molecular mimicry means? This means that there is a, first and foremost, there will be Streptococcus pyogenes. This Streptococcus will have a protein called as M protein. Right? So in our body cells or immune system will take this into account, and it will produce antibodies against the M protein. Right? So what does these antibodies should do? They should destroy the streptococci by recognizing the M proteins. They will do this, but along with that they will also cross react with self antigens on different organ systems. Like they will cross react with self in heart, or they will cross react with hyaluronic acid in joints, and this results in the manifestations of rheumatic heart disease. So this is the important pathogenesis of streptococcus. Now we will see the criteria first. If we see the criteria by which we classify the rheumatic heart disease, obviously the other things will get clear up. So the rheumatic heart disease criteria, if you see this, we have one important criteria which is revised Jones criteria. In revised Jones criteria we have minor, major and supporting evidence is present. So first we will see the minor evidence. So first major we have, first we have something related to joints, that is migratory polyarthritis. This migratory polyarthritis is actually, this is the earliest manifestation which you see in Jones criteria, or sorry, which you see in rheumatic heart disease. Then it causes painless subcutaneous nodules are seen, and it also causes erythema marginatum. In this erythema marginatum there is only red rash is seen annular or surrounding it, with central halo or central clearance is seen like this. Okay, with central clearance, that is erythema marginatum. Then we have Sydenham's chorea. This Sydenham's chorea is non-purpose or semi-purposeful movements, just mimicking like a dance, is Sydenham's chorea, which is the late manifestation. Then the last criteria is presence of pancarditis. So if it is pancarditis, then it involves both pericardium, myocardium and endocardium. We will come to this later. Then now we have one more manifestation, which is, we have minor criteria. In the minor criteria we have both clinical criteria and we have lab criteria. Right? In the clinical criteria we see there is increased ESR and CRP. Sorry, this is lab criteria. in the clinical criteria you will see presence of fever and arthralgia, that is only pain in the joints. There is no destruction on X-ray or histologically. Whereas lab criteria includes increased ESR, CRP, and there is increased PR interval is also seen. Right, along with that we also have some supporting evidence. So if you see in the supporting evidence, here we have streptococcal rapid antigen test, where we detect the presence of streptococcal antigens, ASO titers, which are anti-streptococcal antibodies. Here we are seeing antibodies, okay, and also the throat culture. Okay, these are supporting evidence, because not all streptococcal infections progress to rheumatic heart disease, right? So these are the revised Jones criteria. Now we will see the changes that occur in the endocarditis. Don't forget that, not endocarditis, actually carditis. So if you see the changes that occur in the carditis, these changes are present both in the pericardium, causing pericarditis. These are also seen in myocardium, inflammation of myocardium with rheumatic streptococcus is myocarditis. Infection of endocardium causes endocarditis. So all this is inflammatory things which occur due to autoimmune condition, right? Due to mimicry, molecular mimicry. It's not good to call autoimmune, okay? Now in pericarditis we have bread and butter pericarditis. Okay, this pericarditis which you see is bread butter pericarditis, where there is accumulation of serofibrinous fluid between the layers of pericardium. This is seen in this pericarditis. Then in myocardium, endocardium, and in pericardium also, in all these three you will see presence of bodies called as Ashkoff's bodies. But these Ashkoff's bodies are present in all the three, but these Ashkoff's bodies are actually maximum in myocardium. Okay, now if we see, we will see one more important thing. Now if you see one more important thing, I will just draw you the picture. Okay, so this in the middle, this is, you will see the fibrinoid necrosis in the heart, suffering from rheumatic heart disease. In the center you will see presence of fibrinoid necrosis. This is fibrinoid necrosis. This is surrounded by an Anichkov cell. We have an Anichkov cell. What is this Anichkov cell? This is actually a macrophage. I'll just show you. So these are the Anichkov cells, and this hole with the fibrinoid necrosis, Anichkov cells, and some, anyways there will be all the lymphocytes, neutrophils, all those will be definitely present. This is called as Ashkoff's body. This is Ashkoff's bodies. Okay, so in Ashkoff's bodies you have, this is the fibrinoid necrosis which you are seeing, and this is surrounded by the these cells. Okay, what are these cells? These cells are actually Anichkov cells. Anichkov, C-K-O-W. Okay, Anichkov cell, or these are also called as caterpillar cell, or they are also called as owl cell, because if you take into consideration this Anichkov cell, this is actually an oval cell. Okay, normally if you cut it longitudinally, you will see that there is a small caterpillar type nucleus here. Okay, if you will see presence of small caterpillar like nucleus. Now if you cut this like this, okay, and if you see the cross section like this, here you will see an owl eye like nucleus like this. That means that nucleus is cylindrical and it is curved. The nucleus is somewhat like this, and here this is a cylinder. This is how you see this nucleus here. That is the reason why we call this Anichkov cell as caterpillar cell or owl cell. This is actually a giant cell. It is actually a modified macrophage. Okay, so this is Anichkov cell. Now, the next important thing is some one-liners we will see, because most of the rheumatic heart disease diagnosis and everything we will learn in medicine. Okay, so here if you see, we will see the one-liners. The most common valve of rheumatic heart disease involved in rheumatic heart disease is mitral valve. The least common valve involved in rheumatic heart disease is pulmonary valve. Then what is the disease which is seen in acute rheumatic fever? Valvular disease in acute rheumatic heart disease, that is mitral regurgitation. Valvular disease in chronic rheumatic heart disease. We have in chronic rheumatic heart disease mitral stenosis is seen. This mitral stenosis in chronic rheumatic heart disease gives a type of valve which is called as buttonhole or fish mouth valve. This is called as buttonhole or fish mouth valve is seen. Okay, this will give the in chronic rheumatic heart disease you will also see one more thing which is called as, you will also see a McCollum's patch. This McCollum's patch is an irregular patchy structure which is seen, irregular patch which is seen in posterior wall of left atrium. Posterior wall of left atrium. This is nothing but the deposits of or vegetations, we can say. Warty deposits or vegetations are seen. Okay. So this is how we see. And this microscopic picture of Ashkoff's bodies I have shown you. Alright. So this is about the rheumatic heart disease in pathology. Thank you for watching.